When did you last try to get up off the floor and realize it was harder than it used to be? Not painful, not injured, just harder. A lot of women assume this is just what aging feels like. But what if it's not decline? What if your body is just waiting for a reason to come back? Today, I'll show you why strength matters more than ever after 50 and how to build it into the life that you are already living. So, I saw this statistic recently that 1 in 2 women over 50 will break a bone from osteoporosis. You don't really feel that coming. One day, carrying groceries or playing with your grandkids becomes risky. But there's good news. A 2026 systematic review found that postmenopausal women gain the same strength benefits from resistance training as younger women. Movement also supports your mental health and your moods, supporting the mindset work that we started in the last episode. So your body still adapts and it still builds. And this isn't just about avoiding a broken hip. There is something deeper going on here. The world sells fitness through fear and shame with a focus on how you look, but your body is not a decoration. In 1 Corinthians 6, Paul says your body is for the Lord, built for worship and for service, for the work that he prepared in advance for you to do. And the same power that raised Jesus is at work in you. Look at women in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s that are still independent, still serving in their church, playing with their great grandkids. They didn't arrive there by accident. They built capacity over years of small and faithful habits, whether they realized it or not. And the ones who lost it usually lost it gradually, a little less strength, a little less mobility, until ordinary tasks became impossible without help. And I have felt this happening in my own body. But even if you've lost some capacity, you can rebuild, as we saw in that 2026 study. So the question is not, should I move? I hope you realize the answer to that is absolutely yes. But we want to ask, what do I want to be able to do in 10 years? And are my habits building toward that now, today? So here's what I'm doing to rebuild my capacity. Consistency has always been a battle. Life, moves, injuries, the busyness throw me off track. And then when I come back, I realize I have lost some ground. So what I'm changing is I'm building strength and movement into the rhythms and the routines that I already have, instead of waiting for the perfect time and the perfect workout. Here's my current stat. I have started carrying my kettlebell on walks that I'm already doing. And this has a name. It's called the Kettlebell Mile. Whether or not you walk a mile, you can easily add in carrying something heavy on some of your walks. So I've started doing that 2 to 3 times a week. And I've also been rebounding 10 to 15 minutes a day, most days, for my lymphatic system, and cardio, and core strength. I've started sitting on the floor while working at my computer at least part of the time, and then doing dead hangs for grip strength and longevity. I also have some exercises from my chiropractor for low back pain that I've incorporated into my bedtime routine. So these are things that stack onto existing habits. So I don't have to find an hour in the day for something new to add in. I'm just adding these in to what I'm already doing. So you don't need a gym or a fancy program, but what we need is movement that prepares you for the life that you want to live. So we're aiming for functional movement that fits into your daily life. So let's brainstorm some ideas here. When you're in the kitchen, you can do counter push-ups while you're waiting for water to boil. Do some squats while you're heating up leftovers. Calf raises while you're washing dishes at the sink. Let's think about some other chores. Maybe you can do lunges while you're doing laundry, marching or jogging around while you're picking up the house. Other small habits you can add in is to get down to and up from the floor without using your hands. That might take some work. I have to rework on that after injuring my knee. Just basically sit on the floor more often. Carry something heavy a few times a week, like me adding that kettlebell, or you can use a dumbbell or something else easy to carry while you walk. And when you go for walks, there are things you can do to upgrade your walk. One would be carrying the weight. Another super simple thing to add is just breathing. I like to call it intentional breathing, where you're breathing in deep through your nose and into your diaphragm. And that engages your core. And if you add in some swinging your arms while you do that, that even adds more engagement into your core while you walk. And another simple thing to add is just have short intervals where you walk faster. So all it takes is a little bit of thinking outside the box and getting intentional about moving as you go about your day. If this still feels overwhelming, start smaller than you think you need. Use the concept called tiny habits, where you attach one new movement to something that you are already doing. So if you have a dog, right, you probably have to feed the dog every day. You can basically feed the dog, do some squats. How many squats can you do right now? Start there, even if it's just one. We all brush our teeth every day. So try holding a wall sit while you brush your teeth. You're going to sit down and check your email. Do some mobility exercises before you open your email. So these tiny additions over time, you keep practicing adding these things on to your already established habits, and then they become automatic. And then you can stack a new habit onto something else. The goal here is to move all day long. That is what your body was made for. So 10 years from now, you will either be carrying your own groceries and playing with your grandkids, or the other end of the spectrum, maybe needing help to stand up. That is being shaped in the small moments and your small habits that you can start working on today. Your body is still building. It's still responding. It just needs you to show up with intention. So movement, that's one really big piece of the puzzle. But when sleep falls apart, as it does for so many of us, everything else gets harder. So in the next video, we will be talking about light, sleep, and the rhythms God built into creation that the modern world has pulled us away from, and why that matters. So if this has encouraged you, share it with a friend who's in the same season. There will be a written version with reflection prompts and links to other resources on my Substack. I will link to that in the description below. Until next time, let's keep doing our best and then trust God with the rest. I will see you in the next video.